new scenario, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a scenario of type timetable, starting at clock next, and it's going to be called workshop upload. Right, so it's type timetable scenario. So the question I get quite a lot is, I've created a scenario, it won't upload to workshop. So let's just see what happens. Right, click create, get into the game, and then we'll just have a quick 2-second scenario set up, and then we'll try and publish it on workshop. And then what we'll do is, because I'll show you it won't work, I'll then show you how to fix it. And this is tutorial 2, which is how we're changing timetables to scenarios to standard. The first thing to note is, for the most part, you don't need timetable type scenarios. People are using the timetable type scenario because they think that that's what you need to set destination times and things. You can do that in a standard scenario. You pretty much should never use the timetable scenario type. Everything you want to do, you should be able to do with a standard scenario, and standard scenario will work with Steam Workshop. Timetable won't. I won't get into why. It's long, boring, and not relevant, but it doesn't. So let's get a train on here and put it there because reasons. We'll put a driver on it, and we'll change that to a player service because I always forget if I don't do that. I've made it go the wrong way round. That's excellent. That's the end of the route map. That's just not going to be any use to anybody at all. Let's flip it, put it on this side. Hopefully now we're in a better place with the loco at the right end. We're just going to make this. I'm not going to run this scenario. We're just going to make a scenario. We are going to tell it to do a passenger stop at payback, do an end at payback. That's it. So that's it. Boom. That's our scenario. It's epic, really. And what it needs is a HST. Right. So that's a very quick scenario, and we're all happy. And if I press the play button, it should just work. There you go. Scenario works. We're all ready to go. We've got a task list, so everything's fine, right? However, what I'm going to do now, let me just click back to the menu for a minute until I can prove that I'll make sure I've got nothing inappropriate on the screen. Publish. Click scenario. So my scenario is called Workshop Upload. Now if I just bring back the screen here, I'm on the Workshop Upload screen, and you'll notice you've got T, and then you've got E, all these ones with square brackets on them, and there's no W. So my Workshop Upload, this is roots, hang on a second. Let me get up to the right, I think that's about right there. So, if I look at this, you'll notice in here, WO for workshop is not there. So people will say, what people do is they email me and say, well, I've made a scenario. Why doesn't it work? Why isn't it? It is sorted ABC, Simon, but then square brackets are sorted at the bottom of the list. So it's not there, and it's because it's a type timetable. That's why it's not working. So how do we fix that? So the question that people come back is, do I have to start my scenario again? Kobe Hot 12, thank you for the follow, much appreciated. So, let me now go back to change route. Apologies for all this flipping flapping around. What I'm going to do now is come out of Train Simulator, so music is about to go away. You'll find a way to live. You'll find a way to live. Actually, no, I'm going to come back into the game because there's an easy way to get to where you need to go. LDR, have you checked your Twitch messages? I think I've sent all of the orders, the giveaways out to everybody yet. So, you should be fine. Chris, yes, my scenario did have a final destination. As soon as the game's loaded and I've found the relevant bit, I'll show you how the easy way to find your scenario. So the way that we're going to actually fix this problem is by hacking a file, just to change it over. So, get back to build. I'll be back with you in just a moment. So, in here, we've got workshop upload, which is the scenario, and you see it's of type timetabled. There it is, workshop upload of type timetabled. Now, when you click on a scenario, you get this open button. You need to be running in windowed or in borderless mode for this button to work. GWR5029, this is the problem where someone has made a scenario of type timetable, but they want to upload it to workshop, so they need to switch it to being a standard scenario. So if you're running in windowed or borderless mode, then this button will work, and when you click open, it will open up a doodad. And let me just change to sharing the monitor. Okay. Anytime you like. Well, there it is. So there you go, folks. Let me move that chat off the screen. So this is Notepad. You're looking for scenario properties.xml. All right. I'm going to open it with Notepad++. You can just use Notepad. Don't double click on it. If you double click on it like this, it opens it in, well, in this case, WordPad. But if it opens up in Internet Explorer, you can't edit it. It's read only. It's just a viewer. So right click, do open with, maybe open it with Notepad or whatever you've got as a text editor. Notepad's a good example. Well, it's a rubbish example, but it'll do. If you scroll down a little bit, what you're looking for is this bit that says scenario class, and it says timetable scenario class. All you need to do is delete the word timetable and put the word standard. Right, remember it has to have a capital S. Make sure you don't delete anything you shouldn't. Yada yada yada. Let me just bump the font up on this so that you can see it more clearly. Wow, that's a font upgrade. Wow. Okay, let me try that again. There it is. Look. So scenario class, standard scenario class. It said timetable scenario class when we started. You need it to say standard scenario class. Alright, it's that easy. So now save the file, exit, and close Explorer. Now we need to restart the game. Hold on a second. It won't work until you restart the game because it needs to reload the scenario in now that you've hacked it. Just waiting for it to load. We'll get back to driving in a minute. But these are two questions that I have quite a lot come in, so I wanted to get these fixed. You changed the timetable scenario to standard and it was listed as career? Are you sure you didn't change it to career scenario type? What are you doing, game? Are you booting? No, you're not. It was a bit quick fire on restarting it and hadn't finished shutting down. Oh, here we go. That works. Does it also work with changing career to standard? Yes, it does, Shazam. You can change pretty much anything to anything using this. But if you change your career to standard, you should be fine with. You go standard to career, you need to add in all the career settings. Timetable to standard, you should be all right with, as long as one of the trains has a driver ticked, which it should do. Right, so let me just get into the build menu so I can show you our new change scenario. Prepares for egg on face when it isn't right. Right, now, if I look at the live game and I switch that back to the game capture, you'll notice it's now listed as a typed standard. Now if I go to publish, and I'm going to have to go back to changing route on this, sorry about this. Go back to scenario and find it. I need to set up another install that I stream with, which doesn't have all of the stuff that I'm not supposed to show. So just to prove it, here we go. Workshop upload. Scenario files are invalid. Obviously something else is wrong. What I think I might need to do is, having changed it to standard, I think you now need to go into the editor, tweak something and resave it, and then everything will be fine. It's because you've hacked the file about the game needs it to be saved by the game. So there you go, workshop upload. But there you go, it's appeared in the list. So now you need to go into the editor, tweak something, save it back out, and you'll be okay to upload it. So I hope that answers the question of how you upload, how you can get, if you've made a scenario as timetable, you can convert it to standard, and then you can then upload it to Steam Workshop. So the process, just to repeat, is, you want me to do that? Alright, hang on a minute then. So the process, just to repeat, is that you open the scenario folder, you change it from timetable scenario class to standard scenario class in scenario properties.xml. Remember to open it with Notepad or some equivalent, not by double clicking on it, because that probably opened up into Explorer where you can't change it. Save the file, restart the game, and then open and resave the file in the world editor. Let me just go back into the world editor, open and resave that file. Problem is I can't show you doing this, is why I wasn't going to, because it's just right. Let me just open it. I'm loading it into the editor at the moment. I'll twiddle save. What I'll do, as soon as it's in the editor, I'll go back to the live game so you can see what twiddling and saving means. This is what twiddling and saving means. Click. Oh look, twiddled. And then what we could do is we could take this, move it off, and then move it back on again. There we go. You could even find a siding that's not got anything on it, and you could put a logo on it, and then take it off again. Enough to make it think, oh, that's different. What I then suggest you do is you go into timetable mode, hit F5, get it to do a recalculate. That's usually enough to invalidate everything. Press F2 to save. We've now done that. So now I come back out. And then I'm going to escape from that. So what we've done there is I've moved something on the scenario, but not such that it will change the scenario. It's enough to make it where pressing F2 will cause it to revalidate. So let me go back to changing route. Why don't you have a TS account where you can show what to open and close and uploading scenarios? But then that TS account hasn't got all the content on it. That's the problem. I do have one like that, but it's got no content, which makes it really difficult to show anything. Right, okay, so now let's go into the publish and let's see if uploading will work. Right, so ready to publish. So that worked, having uploaded, done the resave. This is a... When you're done, thank you. Another test scenario, please don't download it. Oh, what am I saying? You're probably going to download it anyway. Oh well, enjoy. Or something. Apologies for wasting time. Right, So put description in. Visibility will be public. It's a, it's Austrian, isn't it? Can't see Austria down there. Never mind, we'll call it all. It's an electric loco. I agree to the terms and conditions. It's going to have a really bogus screenshot because you shouldn't be downloading it anyway. We'll click publish. Invalid country code. Excellent. In which case, it's going to be United Kingdom. Publish. Here you go, published. You want the link, do you? Do you want to prove it's there? So you've just seen me make a timetable scenario and convert it and then upload it to Steam Workshop. So, haha, doubters, haha! That's all I can say. Right, okay. That was changing timetable scenarios to standard. So I am now going to get on and drive some trains. I hope that was useful. So now we are going to drive the mail train. That's terrible, you've used the wrong pick. No, well, you actually used the wrong loco. It should have been a HST, let's be honest. It needs to become a thing where I put the HST in strange places on all of my demo scenarios. C. Rogers, send me a Twitch message and remind me, and I will take a look if necessary. I'll go and hack up the UKTS database to change it over. Is it the Royal Mail train? Yes, it is. It's the Class 325 London Brighton, so I presume we're going to be going past Moggyland. What is a timetable scenario combination? It's another type. When you create a scenario, you can create standard, free roam, career, and timetable as the type. Some people go to the timetable one because they think that timetable scenarios are what you need to create a scenario with a timetable, as in timed stops at things, but you don't. You can do that in a standard scenario. You don't need the timetable scenario to do that. So you pretty much should never use the timetabled option. It really doesn't do anything useful. It does one or two things, but most of the time you actually want a standard scenario. Right, let's drive some trains before we run out of time tonight. I've only done one scenario so far, and then the rest of it's just been me waffling. What is a timetable scenario for? It's a legacy back from when Rail Simulator was launched, and I'm not 100% sure what it's used for. I gather it was a straggler that didn't get removed before it was released or something like that. It was a feature that should have been, was intended to be there but didn't make it in. Why does TS contain timetable scenarios if you can't use them and if they're the same? So it contains them because for whatever reason the option didn't get removed before it was launched, possibly because there was an intention to put it in. I think the original intention with timetable scenarios was something quite grand, where you could set up an entire timetable, but it didn't come into the product. But I don't know that. I'm kind of guessing, to be honest. All I know is it doesn't really do what most people want. Where people do use timetable scenarios, and it can be quite useful, with the caveat you can't share it on Workshop, is you can create the scenario, your standard scenario. Right, so driver, your task with driving this